Hey all, and today we look at a legend, at least a legend in his own mind. For me, it's a character I know absolutely nothing about. It's this guy, Rotorstorm. And I'm not gonna lie, there's two specific reasons why I opted to get this guy. And we're gonna talk about them and everything to do with this guy in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors NL, The Autobot Family, Transformers vs. G.I. Joe, vs. DC Universe vs. Marvel, and Autobot City Central, as well as all of my social media links. All of that mouthful, all those links, they're in the description below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, you can use the donate link or hit the join button, become a channel member right here on YouTube. And if you're interested in this guy or anybody from the Transformers Selects line, by all means, man, check out the Big Bad Toy Store, see what the availability is on this guy, and others from the Selects line. You never know, they might just have what you need. Link for that also in the description below. Okay, so we have Rotorstorm here. Knew nothing about the guy. Zero. Zip. Zilch. But here's the thing. I do remember his original release in the early 90s, and this is a great homage to it. The guy looks beautiful. So reason number one that I opted to get this guy is just because of the nostalgia feels for this gloriously gaudy 90s color scheme. I mean, it is as not robot in disguise as possible. The second reason I got him is just because I adore this mold. I loved it for Spinister, and I bet I'm going to love it for Rotorstorm. In fact, without any further ado, how about we check that out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And so here we are with Rotorstorm. I'm not even going to pretend that I know anything about the guy. I don't. I love the gaudy 90s colors. I'm going to reiterate that again. I love the gaudy 90s colors. This has all of the nostalgia for me. But before we look at him, we're going to look at the packaging first. Yep, it's Selects packaging. It says Rotorstorm. It looks like Selects packaging. And we have these instructions. They're great instructions. These ones are not labeled as Earthrise. They're just labeled as War for Cybertron Trilogy. Because it Selects, there are no Cybertronian stats on this, but they're fine. I loved the Siege Spinister. Pretty sure I'm going to love this guy too. And either you love the 90s and it's gaudy, ugly colors, or you don't. I personally do. Now, here's all I know about the dude. I know he's a legend in his own mind. I know he's quite capable, and I'm not sure if he's actually part of the Wreckers or desires to be a part of the Wreckers, and probably even figures they're going to come knocking on his door. I also know that that's a little bit of a facade, and kind of the burden of being a legend in his own mind sort of weighs on him sometimes. Nevertheless, I got the guy because I thought he looked cool, and I loved this mold. I loved it for Spinister, love it for this guy. In terms of accuracy in this mode, it's pretty accurate. Honestly, the cockpit should be silver with red. The little bit of greenish right here with the Autobot symbol on it is correct. The light blue is correct. The dark blue is mostly correct. The two blasters kind of down here are stylized based on the ones that came with Spinister, but you know what? I'm cool with it. They're yellow. It's fine. He should have yellow tips on his rotors. He doesn't have that. And back on the tail fin, there should be some yellow detail or some pink detailing, but we have a pink like rear rotor there, so it's fine. The rotors, by the way, go around real nice on this guy. Real nice. So does the back one. Love the look of this. Really do think it turned out really well. It's a solid. In terms of the vehicle animation, it's vehicle animation. Sorry, he wasn't in the show, so we don't really have an animation for him. I think he was in the comics, but I'm going by his like actual G1 release. Honestly, I would say that this is a solid 9 for sure. Solid 9. Maybe even a 9.5 for sure. Now, we're going to do the transformation going from vehicle to robot, because we've already looked at it going from robot to vehicle in episode 642 when we looked at Spinister. I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. We're going to do the grades for this guy after we get him in robot mode. To get him in robot mode is actually pretty simple and it's fun. So we begin by removing that from under the foot and that from under the foot. Now, yeah, okay, so it's weird that we have a cockpit section down the bottom, but whatever, man, I don't even care. So we pick off this arm and we pick off this arm. We do that to help loosen up our feet here a little bit. I personally prefer to start with the leg that's underneath and pull that one all the way down. If you hear bells, that's my dog. Close this up and then rotate this all the way around, rotate it in and bring it out. That's a lot of rotating there. To go back, you bring it down, out to the side, and you rotate it around that way. It's a lot, and a lot of people struggle with this particular leg. Back, in, up, boom. The other leg opens out way easier, and we close it up, bring it in. Ooh. There. Untab and bring it in. Untab the heel from the little spot up there and bring it in. The legs are a little kind of mucked up a bit here, so I'm just going to straighten them up a little bit. And this is what we have so far. Naturally, the guy is going sort of kind of off screen, so I'm actually going to adjust things here ever so slightly so that we can see all of him on screen again. Since we have the lower body done, I thought we would actually focus on the upper body first before we have everything on screen. So, the arms here are off the side of the body and out, off the side of the body, and unpegged from each other. We should be able to pick this section up and even fold those up. That's going to kind of come down on the back. So to do the kind of body in here, and I love this, the head doesn't really move. What moves is the entire back piece. So the head stays as it is, and the whole back piece that was over the head rotates down and comes out to become the chest and whatnot, with the whole cockpit section, or sorry, the whole tail section behind him. And then we can close all of this in together to solidify it. And there's a little start back right here, and that little start comes out between the rotors to kind of hold them in place. And really, boom, in the end, and I guess we could take these and put them on his arms. Should be able to put this on his arm. Yeah, there you go, there's one. Boom, in the end, here we have Rotorstorm in his robot mode. And here he is in all of his glory next to Spinister. I adore Spinister. As I said, I looked at him in episode 642. The paint apps on Spinister, I said, honestly, were 10. Like, it is quintessentially Spinister. When we're talking about Rotorstorm here, it's pretty close. Like, the shoulders have the pink with the Autobot symbol on it. The chest is exactly the silver and pink mix it should be. The newly molded head is the way it should be. Granted, we shouldn't have the rotors or the tail up behind him, but I can live with it. The silhouette is a little bit off. Like, the lower legs should be kind of a blue and yellow mix. But you definitely know it's Rotorstorm. I'm going to say it's a solid 8, which means between the 9 for helicopter mode and the 8 here, he's a solid 8.5. Spinister, like I said, was a 10. In terms of the in terms of the transformation, I said Spinister was a 9.5. Honestly, I think Rotorstorm is a 9.5. So we have an 8.5 and a 9.5 for Rotorstorm. He's scoring a 9. What about that articulation? Well, before the articulation, just so we have an idea of his size, here he is next to another deluxe, that being Fast Track. So he's a tall lad. a little bit lighter traditionally than what a deluxe used to be. This guy clocks in at about 82 grams, and the traditional deluxe is about 84 grams. For the record, Fast Track is a lot smaller than that. But he's a good size deluxe. So with the Solid 9, what are we going to say about the articulation? The head can go left, it can go right. It doesn't really look up because of this in the way, but it does look down. I guess it can. If you move this a little bit, it'll get up. The arms can go all the way around, out to the side. We have really a super deep elbow, double jointed, I think. Yeah, I think double jointed. We have a bicep swivel. We have a wrist rotation. We have a, just going to lay that in my hand. We have a waist. We have ability to kick well back. Super high kick forward. Knee to slightly over 90 degrees and thigh swivel. And we have ankle tilt to the side, forward and up. Honestly, I don't know if there's, put that in. I don't know if there's anything more I could have wanted for our boy here. Whereas the overall score for Spinister was a 9.75. I would say this guy clocks in. He was getting a 9 overall. He has a 10 for articulation. He's a solid 9.5. He looks beautiful, but because the silhouette of the body is somewhat stylized, that's where he loses that half mark. But undoubtedly, this guy is a fantastic addition to the Autobots, to any collection, and to the Wreckers themselves. He'd be the first one to tell you. Here we are once again, and here he is. And look, the color scheme's beautiful, man. He's fantastic. The articulation as good as it ever was. The transformation also as good as it ever was, if not a little bit smoother. I think he's absolutely worth getting, whether you know the character or not, because he's just that darn much of a legend. Let me know what you think about Rotorstorm. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube. While you're at it, man, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. Don't forget, somehow, someway, each and every day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, right here inside the videos.